It's time to do Champion Predictions for 2022. As a lot of you know, Command pointed out their narrative roadmap for 2022, including all the different types of events that you'll see throughout the year. Whether or not it's going to be an X-Men event, a Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness event. There's so many other events that's going on. But it doth lead to the mystery. What champions will come out in these various different types of months? Well, you know, I'm going to have a good old crack with guessing some of these champions, and I think I've got quite a few locked down quite well. As a lot of you know, kicking off with January, and you can follow the information in the description down below. But yeah, January is going to be Sauron, and it's going to be Toad, especially because that kind of like makes sense of what, you know, they were talking about. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be January. But February's intriguing. Essentially with this story part of things, like there's some stuff that's gone down with Hell's Kitchen, so I kind of feel this is going to be associated with Daredevil characters or associated characters. For this particular month, I'm predicting, because it's heroes and villains, two things. Either heroes being Jessica Jones, White Tiger and Echo, with villains being Typhoid Mary. I know it's a bit of an out there one to actually, you know, say this could be it, but Typhoid Mary and as well like Bullseye, so I think it kind of makes sense. Echo could be another kind of like character, but I'm just not 100% sure on that one, but I'll put it in the list in any case just to go like, it could be a possibility. I mean, we have definitely seen Echo in the Hawkeye series. On to February now, and I know that the particular person delivering the narrative trailer said, hey, well, we're going to have something to do with X of Swords. X of Swords has this kind of really strange story arc. Link is in the description, by the way. You can actually read the full comic book, and the story arc kind of pits the likes of Mutants of Krakoa versus the Sword Bearers of Arakko, I think it is. But there are the first horsemen of the apocalypse that are associated with it. So there could be any number of heroes or villains on both sides. I mean, the first thing being that you could see the likes of some of these characters here. You know, I think it's like Petulance or just like the horsemen of the apocalypse. The originals, the OGs. So one of the various different ones here. But also it could be, as I said, some of the various different types of characters located on the screen right now. You could have Vague, Tito, but no, not Tito, Tempest. You could have Spectre. You could have Roberto, Bedo, Sorcier. Look, basically what I'm trying to say is you could have any number of characters that are on the list of heroes that could be on Krakoa for the mutants. That could be a sword bearer. I think April brings a dead cert for players. Like April, so it's going to be a month that has got some Spider-Verse or Spider-Man tie-ins like villain and hero, so associated kind of acts. Could be any number of things, but I think for a lot of players the predictions are being Black Cat and Sandman. Even Sandman has been not predicted, but it's been a character that Kabam have been working on, so it could be a case that this will be the month for seeing these two characters that players want to see. In May brings the Multiverse of Madness to the cinemas, and at the same time I feel for this one that we are going to see, and I really hope Kabam are listening, I would love to see a Benedict Wong, aka Wong in Marvel Contest Champ, well, MCU into Marvel Contest Champs. I'd love to see that. Amazing character, great actor. I've watched Benedict Wong from the days of IT Crowd, various different things that he's been in, and it's great to see him get into like the main stage, having like a big movie. And I kind of feel like he deserves his time. He deserves his time in game, and they can make a really kind of sick version that's incredibly powerful and incredibly fun. But also, I kind of feel like this would be a good opportunity to refresh the Doctor Strange and having like a kind of an MCU version, like a Doctor Strange movie, because like the OG one isn't exactly the best in game. It's a champion, but I'd love to see like a proper Benedict Cumberbatch version of Doctor Strange in the game. That would be sick, and I just hope they make them powerful. I would say about having Scarlet Witch in, but she's already had like a new version, and also America Chavez is actually in. We don't know much about the villain. We to a degree know the villain, but whether or not it's kind of like too powerful to be in the game. But we do have Dormammu, and maybe we could have a new villain to bug. In June, we learned that this is a Kree / Skrull month, so having those two factions kind of go up against each other. Now, we don't really have a Skrull that can shapeshift, and if we did, we'd be kind of like questions like, why aren't we getting Mystique? And why aren't we getting a few other characters like Morph? But who could be logical Kree characters could end in. Because at the end of the day, you've got Nova trying to ally himself with or find an Avenger that's been downed. Whether or not the Avenger will be the new character was yet to be seen. But it could lead to some options, like we could have Dr. Minerva. So that could, I don't know why I said like that, Minerva. But yeah, Minerva. Dr. Minerva, you could have Captain Atlas. There's also some other characters that it potentially could be. Like we could have Hulkling, we could have Genis Vell. You know, we could have a whole host of different kind of like on the good side and on the bad side of these two factions. Less so with Skrulls because we've had Super Skrull and we didn't get the standard Skrull, which was kind of like there's a PNG of. But you know, it is what it is. Now June sees Thor: Love and Thunder. And this will have some pretty important characters. Now, I think said something last time in the other video. I was like, okay, well, it could be this or this. But I didn't mention some of the others. So, yeah, okay, this could be the time that we actually see Valkyrie, which would be sick. That'd be amazing. And also, we'd see, I think it's Gorr the God Butcher. And that would be amazing. I still can't remember if Gorr the God Butcher ended up chopping off Thor's arm, or we had the Unworthy Thor. But I love the Unworthy Thor. It's one of my favourite type of Thors. I'm not a big fan of the Stormbreaker Thor because of the what you know we get from Beta Ray Bill. But again, there's another story for another kind of like point. But still, there's a whole host of characters that we could see. Moving on now to the month of August. August is meant to be a month. Oh, and a Jane Foster Thor, new Jane Foster Thor. But I kind of think, well, we'll buff the old one. They kind of look so similar. But yeah, August, right? In August, this is going to be a Silver Surfer teams up with someone to take on Galactus. Now, will this be another Herald of Galactus? Because I think there's like a character where Silver Surfer has a romantic relationship in, which I've talked about in the past, which would be cool. But because this is more like teaming up with somebody, it could be the case that he's teaming up with a whole host of people. Or it could be somebody in particular he goes to tackle. Now, he's been part of Defenders in the past, and there's been some new comic book arcs and new comic book stories, which are, I don't know really what to make of it. And we'll talk about that in a second. So, there's been this new kind of Galactus that's come in, and he's kind of like more OP. And this again is part of like a new Defender story arc, but he has been part of like teams before, teaming up with Beta Ray Bill, which would be incredible if this was the introduction of Beta Ray Bill. There's as well, I can't remember, it's going to trouble me now because I can just remember like who this character was, who I talked about in some previous things. I think he's another Elder as well, but he's not the Gladiator. Oh god, that would bother me. But I'll come back to that. It's not really kind of like what the point of here, but I think if this would be a good opportunity for Beta Ray Bill. But also, you can't deny the fact of this new story arc. This new story arc that's kind of recently come in this year was the Mother of Galactus. Yes, the Mother of Galactus. So could this be something that would be entered in? The reason that I mention that is because a very popular and great kind of teaming of Al Ewing and Javier Rodriguez, but Al Ewing in particular, who's had a lot of associations with Marvel Contest of Champions, and you know, we have had the Immortal Abomination and we've had Immortal Hulk in last year. Could this be Galactus's mother? Man, if this was next year's, this would be crazy. Galactus's mother entering into the game. Man, that would be crazy. But it would fit like a really cool story narrative for the future. So yeah, it could be. September now, and I'm pretty unsure about this. Now, I believe it's the Masters of Evil that are coming into the game. And there's a whole host of characters this could be. Like, there's 217 results on Comic Vine are like potential characters that could fit the bill for being a villain. We've got Batroc, if you remember the is it Falcon and Winter Soldier? I think he was in that one. And also the the Winter Soldier film, actually. He was in that one. What else we got? Well, Black Knight could be in there. Black Talon, Blackout, Blackwing. You know, you name it. There's a whole host of Masters of Evil. Yeah, okay, some good people. Wizard as well. But it could be Baron Zemo. That could be part of this. So 2 villains for that month would be pretty epic. But one of those wants to turn good. So you kind of have to find like a villain that's kind of been on the side of good and the side of evil. Anything's really up in the air for that one. On to October. On to October now. Now this is a Spider-Verse month. And we could see some more Spider-Verse heroes coming in. And there's a lot. You could see anybody. Spider-Woman, Scarlet Spider, Silk. You could even see Spider-Man India. You could see... Man, I've got like a whole list of potential Spider people. Spider-Punk. Spider-Man Noir. I mean, anything could be like up in the air of like characters that could be coming in. But yet, if you kind of look in the links in the description, man, you'll see definitely all of that. Spider-Wolf? Possibly. Yeah, so there's like Spinneret, Spider Cyborg, why not? Six-armed Spider-Man, because that's a thing. Yeah, okay, right, I'm done with that. In November sees the release of Wakanda Forever, potentially, but there's, you know, Kabam will still run a Wakandan-based event. Now, in the cast members, there is going to be the, I think this is the first MCU, because we're getting a TV series, Ironheart. Okay, Ironheart was still a character that we had in the Summoner's Choice this year, and we could see Ironheart actually enter into the film and enter into the game as well, which would be sick. Right, I'm up for that. There's also the chance that we could see a Queen Shuri. I mean, rumor is that the Black Panther will be like Shuri taking on the mantle. That's a rumor. It's not something to be true. And they also said that the rumor was that the villain was meant to be Namor and stuff. But again, you just don't know if that's indeed true. But it could be Okoye, it could be M'Baku, it could be anything really, any character within Wakanda. But I think that it would be a lost opportunity to kind of figure out what's going on with the king or queen of Wakanda, and I think Shuri does fit. And now let's end the year, because at the end of the day, like, who could be a character, one singular character that could be associated with Rocket and Groot? And it could be a potentially forgotten character, like Adam Warlock? Not a forgotten character, but like members of the Guardians of the Galaxy associations. Could it be a singular month where Adam Warlock is the one character with the focus? I'd love to say that was going to be the case. I really would. But it could be something like Moondragon. It's not going to be Cosmo the dog, but Mage of Victory. Maybe a Guardian of the Galaxy that hasn't been mentioned in the past. Or as I said, it's the focus point of one singular character. Same way that Silver Surfer was the pinnacle character for 2019? 2020 was Spider-Ham, and 2021 was Kraven. What if it was Adam Warlock? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that has been my top picks of characters that I think are coming into next year to fit into some of these events. Do you have a difference of characters that you kind of think, oh, Rich, I think that's going to be put in there and put in there? Make sure to put it in the comment section down below. Put like the month and then the character that you think is coming in, or characters, in order to like cover your bases. Maybe we'll return back to this video next year and see like how well we all did. Thanks for checking out this video. Make sure to check out some other content located on screen, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.